After a red-hot win in Philly, the Vikings come back home to take on Josh Rosen and the Cardinals. So this is how we fared in that one. And the Vikings defense in this game, despite a few lapses here and there, did well. And the Vikings forced the Cardinals on 3-outs on the opening drive. Then the Vikings drive, but then we go for a 4th and 2, a very interesting call. It's deflected, and we have to turn the ball over. So then the Cardinals have a chance, and here are one of those big plays. We got Harrison Smith matched up Trey Waynes with his back turned. A good throw by Josh Rosen, gotta give the kid credit. Then the Vikings defense forces the stand in the red zone. Very similar to what we saw the Vikings do last year. Not many long sustained drives. Good, very good 3rd down defense, and then come through, force the field goals, and you give up the occasional big play. So then we see more of the same. Cousins to Thielen. This matchup is just too good, and I don't think there's a team that can stop it. And what we thought couldn't happen is the Vikings ran the football. Who would have guessed this team was capable of it? We've heard about it in training camp, and finally we see it in an actual game that matters. And back-to-back big runs from Murray in this drives, and this one's a touchdown. Finally, Latavius looks good. And now, a lot of this was due to the offensive line, but I did not see enough of Latavius Murray breaking through tackles, shoving the stiff arm in people's faces. This kind of goes hand in hand. When you have a good run-block scheme that will get the running back fired up, and he'll be able to run better, more powerful. And that stiff arm was just powerful, is what we like to see from Murray, being that power back. And Murray was very, very good today. The first good game of Murray on the year. Sucks that Dalvin was hurt, a late scratch. But the Vikings' run game on this game was pretty good. After a good run from David Johnson, the Vikings strip it. And this will set the Vikings up with a good offensive drive. And the Vikings are near the red zone there, knocking on the door. And Cousins is looking, and he is sacked. The offensive line looked pretty bad. The run blocking was there today, finally. Pass blocking was not. And with our creativity and the run game, it is really weird. We have Cousins sprint out to the right and do like a weird reverse with Rock Thomas. Chandler Jones is right there, swallowed it up. Loss of 4 yards. Oof. But it's okay. Dan Bailey knocks in the field goal. Lets our defense get back on the field. And another sack on 3rd down. A 3rd down defense was phenomenal. Now we see there one of the few mistakes we saw in Cousins all year. This was an interception. He just kind of threw it up here. We saw this play where Cousins will do the play action and just throw it up, looking for Diggs, and it was jumped, intercepted, and this was 1 of 2 turnovers for Cousins on the day on his first mediocre play, our game of the year. So this gives Rosen and the Cardinals a chance, and another time where Harrison Smith, man-man coverage, got turned around. I'm not sure if it was underthrown on purpose, but underthrown deep ball on man-to-man coverage. Harrison Smith's back was turned, and another barely long drive. But the Vikings' goal line stand was here. They go for it on a 4th down. The Vikings just said, nah. 4th down, no good. The Vikings take over on downs. The second 4th down of this game that the team could not get, so the second turnover. So now the Vikings have a chance to drive. Cousins on play action bootleg, and we see Diggs with a very good catch. Diggs had a very low-key game today, shadowed by Patrick Peterson for most of the game, who had a good game, but he was not in the highlights, is Laquan Treadwell, who was very good. But later in this drive, another one of these big issues, red flags of Kirk Cousins, a fumble. And this one goes for a touchdown. I might make a video if I have time. My schedule is so awful. If I have time, I want to make a video comparing Kirk Cousins to 2009 Adrian Peterson. I don't want to say that. I really don't want to see a scenario where we are a very good team, but we fumble our chances away in the championship game like in 2009. But that's we'll have to see. But who had a good game again? Adam Thielen turned it into one of the best receivers in the year. Adam, he catches everything. He lays out for it. The effort, the blocking, he is it all. Really a new age style receiver like Larry is. Kind of does it all. Not just a Odell Beckham Jr., where, yeah, he'll make good catches, run after the catch is good, Adam blocks, does all the dirty work, and plus, he'll line him up everywhere, he'll catch the ball, very good. And then Kirk Cousins rocks again, and guess who? Number 19, it's Thielen. He's always open. I don't know why you'd want to throw to anybody else. The Vikings drive at the end of the half. Okay clock management. You'd like to have a few more chances for the end zone, but hey, we are okay. We set up Dan Bailey with the field goal. It is good. We kick off. He looked like the Cardinals were driving on the kickoff, but we tackle him after a decent return. Halftime, we get the ball. We begin the second half, and we strike again. And guess who? Where do we start off? It's Thielen. A little corner out. Corner out and Thielen are the best friend. I don't know any corner that can cover Thielen on these little corner routes. And this was a beautiful catch from Thielen. At first, I thought this was short. This was reviewed, and turns out it was good. Thielen with one of the best catches of the year. Be on the top 5 of my top 10 Viking plays of the year. And then, right after that, Mike, boom, right up the gut. The Vikings finally ran the ball. That's a couple big runs in this game. Finally, we get something, and then a very good play there. That's what we see from Cousins. We saw the interception where he overthrew it a little bit and got it picked. This time, taking a big hit, throws it, and throw it to Thielen. He will be very good in those scenarios. Thielen catches it, good gain. Fed comes up with a 3rd and short. Cousins under pressure. You can't say enough about how good he's been under this type of duress. So then shotgun, 3rd and 1, right up the middle. It's Thielen. Of course, who wouldn't it be? Thielen might as well already be an all-pro, very close to the 1,000-yard mark. Now we see here, Cousins does the most whitest dance of 2019. So we go back on defense, and what else is new? A 3rd down stop, a sack. I believe that was Harrison Smith, and another long run. Latavius was very, very good. Latavius is hard running, and getting this set up lets the DNs crash, and Kirk Cousins can slide past him and show the world that he's still the whitest man in the world with another awful dance. Funny, like it. Let's keep this going, but hey, I like those unblocked runs. I'll take it every single time. And now the Vikings finally tighten up on these deep balls. Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris on the day, who finally got some playing time with the injury of Andrew Sendejo. And Georgia Laka got the start, but Anthony Harris made a little bit more notes on the stat sheet, playing in Georgia Laka's basically rotational role with Jaron Kearse. As we see here, here's that Anthony Harris interception, jumping in front of Larry Fitzgerald. Probably one of the best, not probably, one of the best wide receivers in my generation. So good. And Anthony Harris jumped it, picked off, and the Vikings get back on offense. And another batted pass. The Vikings have to figure this out. This is something that teams can scheme around. They just get your hands up. Kirk Cousins isn't very tall. You can bat all these passes down. And that hurt us a lot in this game. It could be a problem in the future. And now another one of these really good screens. This was a very good design. Gresham's one of the quicker tight ends. He's kind of blocked and then released. And nobody was there. I blocked in front of them, and I picked up a very good gain. So now the Cardinals are driving. They had a good little drive, and incomplete on 3rd down, forces another 4th down attempt. They go deep. Mackenzie Alexander manned up on Larry Fitzgerald. Mackenzie has been horrible all year, but he comes through here knocking that ball away. So the Vikings, Mackenzie Alexander had one of his best games, probably of his career. I thought he had a few mistakes throughout the game, but when you're covering against Larry Fitzgerald and you're knocking it away on a one-on-one single coverage, I'll take that every single time. McKenzie played very well. So then Rosen trying to get some yards. So there we are at 27-10, exactly where my score prediction. So I'm saying, please keep the score here. Please, please, please. Vikings defense come through. We're there in the red zone. We need an interception, something. But they get a slant on Larry. He's so good. McKenzie should have covered him. It would have been incomplete. They get 2nd and goal. David Johnson up the middle. Touchdown, Larry. Oh, I almost called it perfectly. If we could have had another goal line stand, 27-10, I would have been in God, and I could have been showboating all week about how good my predictions are, but whatever. The final score, 27-17. The Cardinals drive, nothing after that. So 27-17, Vikings win. So let's look at the old Statarinos. Let's start off with the Vikings. Like I said, the first mediocre game of the year for Kirk Cousins. He was 24 for 34 for 233 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interceptions, QBR 54.9 and rating of 87. He had 1 rushing touchdown, which helped him a bit, but yeah, a lot of batted passes, that 1 pick. Kirk Cousins really only had the good day for Adam Thielen, which is it not a bad day for Adam Thielen, who had 11 receptions for 123 yards and a touchdown. I believe the stat books say he will have Jerry Rice's career record by the end of this year. My God, he's been good. And shout-outs, like I said at the beginning of the recap, to Laquan Treadwell. Very sneaky good in this game. 4 for 4 for 38 yards. Not going to blow anybody's heads. But when you're competing for that number 3 receiving spot and you're second on the team with the receptions, you don't drop anything. You haul every pass your way. We see the man fighting for yards. We haven't seen a drop in a couple of weeks. I like what I've seen from Laquan, and it's definitely his job to lose. Aldrick Robinson, 0 catches on the day on 1 target. Laquan Treadwell, very good game. Nobody's going to talk about you, but very good game indeed. Rudolph, 4 for 37. Stephon Diggs, 3 for 33, shadowed by Patrick Peterson for most of the day. So there was our receiving. Of course, Thielen was the man again. Running the football, we did it. In my preview, I wanted 125 team rushing yards, and they blew the expectations out of the water. Almost getting 200 team rushing yards. Latavius led the way, 24 carries for 155 yards. Mike Boone had 1 for 20. Cousins, 4 for 14. And Diggs has 1 for 9. That was basically all of our running. I'm very excited from what we saw today. This was without a Dalvin Cook, who I expect to be healthy next week. 2 back-to-back game-time decisions, which means very likely he'll be ready to go in New York. So I'm excited about that. And then offensively for the Cardinals, Josh Rosen, 21 for 31 for 240 yards, no touchdowns and 1 interception. Against his Vikings defense, he played fairly well. The Cardinals running the ball, David Johnson, 18 for 55. I wish I could say that's bad, but it's been his average this year, so I guess the Cardinals are just bad in general. And then defensively, let's go look at the Vikings. And George Alaka came in for Sendejo, led the team in tackles. Way to go. Very quiet in this game. He didn't make any big plays, but 7 solo tackles, 8 total, led the team. We had the tackle for losses. Harrison Smith had 1. Mackenzie Alexander had 2. Daniil Hunter had 2. We had sacks. We had 4 sacks on the day. A full team effort across the board. Daniil Hunter had 2 sacks, who's quietly becoming one of this team's best defensive players, which is amazing. We have so many of 2 all-pro players in Harrison Smith and Xavier Rhodes. It's so hard to say, but Daniil Hunter might be the Vikings' best defensive player. Sheldon Richardson again looked good. McKenzie, as I said, looked really good. And for the Vikings on offense, that we didn't do very good was Kirk Cousins needs to hold on to the football. Please, the defense for the Cardinals swarmed him. And Rashad Hill looks bad. Riley Reef didn't look very good when he was healthy, and Rashad Hill is a clear step below that. So we need to figure out this left tackle position because it is killing us. I thought O'Neal looked fine at right tackle. The interior of the line blocked well. Their pass blocking wasn't very good, but better than Rashad Hill. Now, he's going against Chandler Jones. Give him a little bit of leeway there. But either way, we need more pass protection for an $84 million prize. There we have it. The Vikings dominated the Cardinals 27-17 on all phases of the game. Charles was back. He returned punts. We looked good. So give me your thoughts on the game in the comments section down below. And we'll see you guys in the next JOZ Vikings video. See you guys then.